by route anymore. We're captains now. We fly.
Yes, we do. And we'll be flying at an altitude of excellence, and the weather, of course, looks really good right now. Good morning. It's Monday, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Now, we have light refreshments of delightful awesomeness and also good old family entertainment for you guys. So, hey, in the next 1 hour, we will be taking off. Have you ever noticed you can't hear Nigerian pilots? Can you?
You can hardly hear what they say.
Mike Mexicano.
Are you just...
That's your cue, Mike. You see, you didn't hear.
It's about to take off. Gate 5. Gate what?
How you doing, Mike?
Hello, good morning, welcome. It's Monday morning. Yes, you spoke about the weekend.
Yeah.
By the way, I slept all through the weekend, but hopefully, both the combination of ourselves and the audience will give that spark into a Monday morning. Let's get it going. My name is Mike Mexicano. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely, Mike. There was nothing else you could do over the weekend with all the traffic going out there. So, hey, it's best if you actually spent it indoors or at least localize your entertainment, which is pretty much kind of like what I did.
Yeah.
In any case, we are fully focused on achieving outstanding and remarkable things this week. Without you guys, hey, we wouldn't be here. So thank you very much for being the platform upon which we do what we do.
We hope to fill your cup with the right amount of motivation this morning. Hopefully, we'll be lifting your spirits as much as we've lifted ours. And hey, it's a full package waiting to be delivered. My name is Titi Lion Onyesong.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. And hey, guess what? You guys have already taken off. Remember, you can use the hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc across all of our social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
You can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world. Just use our mobile app. Download it, Google Play or iOS.
Yes, watch us on GOTV channel 27 and of course UHF channel 49, just in case you don't know, all right?
Now, across all our social media, pages, it's at TVC Connect. You can look us up right there. There's loads of updates and highlights for you.
Yes, indeed. Now, let's get into the crux of things for a Monday here, people. Yes, let's start by letting you guys know what we have coming for the next hour and 45 minutes. Now, is there a thing as overnight success? I don't know. Is there?
I don't know.
Well, in any case, we'll be joined by Fola Daniel at Delasi, an international keynote speaker, training facilitator, and also communicator. Professional, by the way. He's also an author of more than 12 published books, and he'll be here to talk about that subject. Then we have our weekly review dose of the most exciting trivia game show taking place in this part of the world. Who wants to be a millionaire?
Suki Salam is a Nigerian Afro-pop soul singer, fashion, and of course his sound is a fusion of vast genres such as Afrobeat, soul, Fuji, and dancehall. We can't wait for that performance he's about to give us. Pop Live.
And of course, Platinum Auto Painting was founded in 2010, and the company, the line of business includes repair of automotive body, interiors, collision, automotive painting, and also refining, and quite a few other things. Well, hey, Adebayo will be here to talk to us about their efforts here in Nigeria.
Wow.
Of course, welcome, ladies, gentlemen.
Final days of the month of August.
That's so ominous. Why do you make it sound
Final
so...
days of the month.
Yeah, because we're getting to Ember Month.
Yeah,
Ember
so
month, September, October, November. We've still got 4 months.
The Ember months, the ones that everybody is like, okay, yes, the month is rounding off. Finally here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
So, how was Friday, yeah?
Ooh. I would like to say, first off, shout out to the news department for Friday hosting everybody here at TVC. It was fantastic. We were blown away. Fantastic. You guys tried. Our Fun Fridays here They did. They did.
I thought you wanted to say more than they tried. Like,
well, they did.
More than try.
They did try.
That was super.
They did. You guys were super.
The only beef I have is that they went to show Ashebi and they didn't tell.
Yeah.
I didn't want to show Ashebi. At least
friends.
No.
Okay, so we'll see what happened. If they had told us that it was Ankara Day, and maybe we are Ankara Day, we are Ashebi, but not like we will not just be there, but great one.
They did. You guys did a fantastic job. We just wanted to say to you guys, no, we're not saying thank you. We're saying we accept the challenge.
Oh, wow. Mazino, yo.
I just put our boss on the, in the corner, and he's like, Mazino.
Don't worry, we're going to do it.
I hear it was fun, but,
Yeah, you couldn't be there.
I wouldn't know, because we
were
on the road for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it was tough on Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I spent quite a while trying to get around the little U-turn here in front of the office, an hour and a half.
Wow.
An hour and a half, just trying to make that U-turn, and then everything from then was clear. I'm lucky I didn't ask you to stay.
You did.
I did actually ask you. I'm lucky that
Yeah.
you didn't take my invitation.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know
What
when
time
you'd
did
have
you
gotten home.
I left by like 2.
Oh,
Okay, what time did you get home?
Was there any traffic then?
No traffic. I went home. But the problem is
God for
I
your
actually
life.
headed to the island later that evening, and I was still caught in that traffic.
Wow.
So all the way from Airport Road through Oshodi,
Wow.
through Bagada was all blocked. And I was wondering, like, what's happening? And the sad thing is that the map didn't reflect it.
So,
course.
So, like,
booyah.
So, Titi can
Nothing.
tell us exactly
We
what
didn't
happened. Because Titi had zero-hand information.
Really?
not even only
Zero.
I didn't
Zero.
know.
So, you know,
Just spoke to the
So,
number one.
no, but from the island, we saw like a 45-minute timer to get to the office on the map. And then by the time we got to Oworo Junction, it said 8 minutes to the office.
But that was not what I was
Yeah.
talking about, Titi.
And it was crazy.
How you have zero-hand information.
Oh,
Ah,
zero
you
hand.
missed it.
I didn't
You guys
get
had
it.
a
I
guest
didn't
on,
get it.
didn't
I didn't
you?
get it.
Yeah.
So I did, actually. We had the Commissioner for Transportation
There you go.
There you-
speak with us around 1:30 a.m., courtesy our CEO, Mr. Andrew Hanlon, who called him up on radio on Max FM. So Mike, myself, Mike, and Hoji were
They
stuck
ended
in the
up being
office.
radio presenters.
And we had some community radio. We were taking phone calls of people that were in traffic, trying to get the best routes for people to pass to avoid getting stuck in what we were
Was
stuck in.
grand. I mean, what better way to spend your Friday than taking somebody else's job?
Really? Mazino.
Good morning and welcome. It's the news on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mike Messikeno. Now we begin in Niger State, where former President Olusegun Obasanjo says he does not have a preferred candidate for the 2023 presidential election, but a national agenda. The former president stated this when he paid a visit to the former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar in Mina, Niger State. According to him, and I quote, "I don't have a special candidate, I have a national agenda. I have come to see my brother, who was a bit indisposed, and when he was abroad, I had wanted to visit him, and the day I arrived in London to visit him was the day he left." End of quote. Both leaders earlier had a closed-door meeting, which lasted for 30 minutes. Sunday's event is the latest in a series of recent meetings the former president has had with prominent personalities and politicians, days after he met with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi in London, among others. Now, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has called on the federal government to sign the renegotiated agreement with the striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. In a statement yesterday, the senior advocate of Nigeria urged both ASU leadership and the current administration to resume negotiations in order to end the prolonged strike for the overall good of Nigerian students. While calling on both sides to resume the negotiations in the interest of the country, he said the federal government should be prevailed upon to end the prolonged industrial action. Mr. Falana also urged or accused the federal government of resorting to blackmail ASU, recalling how talks with the union ended in a deadlock, a situation that dashed the hopes of many students. He also urged the federal government to commit itself to the faithful implementation of collective agreements reached with ASU, which are enforceable by virtue of relevant provisions of the Trade Disputes Act, instead of embracing the fascist option of proscribing the union. And then outside Nigeria, the Pakistani government is appealing for additional international assistance as floods devastate the country, leaving people searching for higher and drier lands. The death toll from the downpour has climbed to 119 killed in the last 24 hours, according to the National Disaster Management Authority. The United States, UK, UAE, and others have contributed to a disaster appeal, but more funds are needed. Interior Ministry official Salman Sufi said the country was desperate for international support. He said Pakistan has been grappling with economic issues, but now, just when it's about to overcome them, the rain disaster hit. Thousands of people fled their homes in northwest after rivers in Kiba Pakhtunkhwa burst their banks, causing powerful flash floods. And that's it on the news this morning. We'll take a short recess. When we get back, we'll look at the headlines in the dailies.
Thanks for joining us. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the papers this morning. It's Monday, 29th of August, 2022. We're starting with the Daily Trust. Brain drain. Nigeria's doctor-patient ratio now 1 to 5,000. Less than 30,000 presently practicing, according to the NMA. More planning to leave as manpower shortage bites harder. Minister advocates instant replacement for departing doctors. Now, there is an infographic there showing how serious this situation actually is. A breakdown of the doctors in Nigeria, meaning that doctors to patients are supposed to be 1 to 600, and presently it is 1 to 5,000. It also asks here why Kwankwaso Obi Alliance collapsed, according to Professor Akali. Taj Bank gets approval to start 100 billion naira sukuk bond. Bandits abduct 8 farmers in FCT community. And just beneath the masthead there, it says 63 days after Kaduna DPO kidnapped on duty, still in captivity. On the aviation crisis, unresolved, despite $256 million release to foreign airlines. And e-Naira won't take over financial services of commercial banks, says CBN director. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust. We have other papers with us today. The Daily Independent talks money as well. Forex rate may push banks into crisis, it says. More on page 5. Weak institutions create room for corruption to thrive, according to Oshimbajo. NDDC says, don't set Niger Delta on fire, South-South and elders warn Malami. Accuse AGF of misleading Buhari on NDDC Act. On a $23 million Abacha loot, Serap asked Buhari to provide copy of pact with US. And beneath the photo story there, on strike, it says ASU in make or break NEC meeting as more state varsities reopen. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Independent. We have with us the Nation newspaper as well. Obasanjo says, I have no preferred candidate, but national agenda. It also says here, ex-president visits Babangida Absalami Ugwai. It does say here that federal government to block illegal diversions on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And how Nigeria can benefit from stable oil market. Page 8 has more on that. That's what we have on the cover of the Nation newspaper. And that's all we have time for now. Let's take a quick break and be back with more.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's time for us to have that little session where we talk about something very interesting. Mike has a very interesting story.
Very fast, yeah. French authorities are investigating a case of attempted extortion by an organized gang with regards to Paul Pogba. Pogba has told police that he was trapped by childhood friends and 2 hooded men with assault rifles who demanded 13 million euros from him.
Wow.
13 million. 13
million euros. Paul Pogba, of course, is a French footballer. Now, this is not where it is shocking. What is the most shocking thing is that he identified his brother as as a member of the gang.
Oh, wow.
He did, now, according to the statement his lawyer released, we're not very sure. It wasn't so, you know, he didn't exactly say if the brother was amongst those that were hooded, but he said they've been training him to his training ground in Juventus, to the France national team. Incidentally, I saw a message by the brother some few hours before this leaked out last night, where the brother says, I will tell the world something about my brother, something shocking about my brother.
Wow.
Wow. And then this came out. And then he goes on to say, that they also attempted, they also said they would blackmail him because he tried to put a hex on one of his teammates, Kylian Mbappe. And that's one of the reasons why they were trying to blackmail him. And this gang says that, which includes his childhood friends, that since he became big, he has not helped them financially. Wow. And Paul Pogba says one of these guys was the guy I chased away from my home just early in the year, January, because he stole $200,000, 200,000 pounds from me, from my card. And I had to chase him out. He was living with me. He's a childhood friend. So it now comes on to friend, family, entitlement. And then this is now in family. Now, let me just the final thing to tell you to make you understand how shocking it is that Pogba is a very, very social animal. He's always on social media, making videos and all that. He himself and the brother, they are look-alikes. There are 3 of them. Wow. They look so alike. And then they're always vibing.
Yeah.
So you have that feeling that the sibling bond is strong, and then this.
Wow.
Goodness me. The word there you use is entitlement. And the assumption would be, or maybe he wasn't looking after his people, maybe he hadn't done what was due to them. But I doubt that. I feel like this is just all greed. I feel like it's greed on the part of the family and friends, just always expecting to be sapping from one particular tree. You know, fine, at this particular point, he is a money bag. Everything he does is recognized. He's an influencer. He's got loads of, he's endorsing so many brands, let me put it that way. But the issue is, does he really have to look after them more than what he's done? I don't know. Is that...
I was going to take my argument from, like, the other side. No, quite like what you've just said. The fact is, when you are in that kind of a spot or situation, or where you are perhaps maybe a step higher than everybody else, I think it's about time for you to start checking on your interactions with people and noting that there will be these kinds of people who would feel entitled. So how do you interact with people? Do you feel like, okay, perhaps maybe I should actually help them come up, or maybe I should distance myself? Either way, it's a good thing. I'll tell you that for a fact. I think you've had instances, I've had instances. No. I'm saying that it's a good thing to check your relationship with people when you get to certain status. Like, he's that guy now whom everybody's feels that, oh, I'm entitled to him helping me out. Like his brother, for instance, which is crazy. Personally, I'm a very individual type of person. I like to be just by myself, because you cannot trust the next man in absolution. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
People, the heart of man is evil, the Bible says.
I like what you said.
You know, so, yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that personally, as a person, he should have put that in check from way before.
And yeah, aside, I mean, you never know. Yeah, people being the way they are is one thing. But then again, also being around people, I mean, jealousy is something that is actually very, very... Jealousy that translates to envy, something that actually is...
What's the difference?
Jealousy is the milder version. Envy is the...
He's the one that's gymmed.
Yes, follows Mike to the gym. Yeah, so, I mean, it could be a normal, genuine, loving situation. Like, I mean, relationship between them growing up and all of that. Then one person out of all of that actually just sprouts. And all of you are still there looking. No matter what he does, it will never be enough if you don't check yourself. And the truth is that even as individuals here, you hear a story. I said, you know when witchcraft starts? When you hear good news and it's doing you like... John, as a friend when presents schools, but the truth is that this kind of things are not far off.
Okay,
I
want to ask you a very personal question. Now, we all have that inside of us, whether we like it or not. There's certain times when I can't remember the German word for it, whether it's Schadenfreude or something like that. You hear good news and then that's when you... How do you put that in check?
You tell yourself that there is time for everything, right? God is in the neighborhood. He'll come to your door very soon. Yeah. Don't literally like just keep on looking at other people's things. Know that everything goes around and you are in the time for your own thing. If it's spreading you that much, go and work hard and make your stuff happen for you. Don't just sit down there and just expect that, okay.
I wish there was more time.
Maybe we'll move it over because I've never said anything, but I know what I want to say, but that's just it. What do you, it's still, for me, it's still shocking, but hey, let's on social media and then we might take some of your comments in the second. Just take this time out now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Now it's time for motivation. We're going to have a really interesting conversation. Is there such a thing as overnight success? Have you actually thought about it? Well, that's as good a question as any. And to answer that question for us this morning, we have Fola Daniels Adilisi. He's an international keynote speaker, training facilitator, and communications professional. He's the author of more than 12 published books, and he's a business consultant and friend of the house. Welcome back.
My pleasure.
So, overnight success, does it really exist?
It does exist, but the problem is that it doesn't last. You can have an overnight success. For example, if you walk into a lottery house and you win the lottery.
Okay.
You can have overnight success if all of a sudden somebody just throws money at you. Like a bill of dollars, maybe a couple of them. I mean, that's almost an overnight success. You've just become a millionaire overnight. That has happened for some people. But research has proven that most times people like that become poor within the next 5 years.
Wow.
And 5 years is even too much for a lot of people. So if you're really going to build strong, lasting success, It takes time. As a matter of fact, what comes out of your success at the end of the day lasts longer because of the process you've been through.
Okay.
If you haven't been through the process, like if you jump up, what happens to you?
You come down.
The law of gravity brings you back. But if you climb up, what happens? You stay there. If you climb the stairs, you can stay on the stairs. But if you jump, no matter how strong you are, when we all jump, we come back immediately. So there's really no such thing as overnight success if you want it to last. But if you're just looking for a fling, I mean, that can happen. But lasting success, it's not overnight.
Okay, so you've answered the question based on, general knowledge and perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking there are a lot of young people out there who are seeing icons. Their icons now are influencers, artists, rappers, BB Niger housemates, for instance. And they go into a house and 90 days later, boom,
They're made.
It looks like they're made.
So let's go back to maybe about 10 years or so. I think they've been running for that long. Where are the past winners?
Okay.
What are they doing today?
Okay.
How many of them still have the fame? How many of them are still relevant?
Okay.
So when you start asking questions like that, for example, this morning, as I was thinking about all of these, I thought about Jumoke Onibread.
Oh, wow. True.
You remember her?
Yes, yes.
Where's she today?
The lady that there was a photograph of her.
Photobomb,
Yes.
T.Y. Bellows,
Yes.
photo shoots,
Yes.
and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
So one of the things we must understand, you see, there are instances that can bring what looks like an overnight success. But how prepared you've been before that incident can determine how long the success will last. So yes, you can go into places like that, the Big Brother Nigeria and all of that, and remain a success. But what will make you remain a success is not what happened in the house. Take, for example, someone like Lekon has been going about singing, doing his music. He already was doing the music before he got into the house.
I was looking at an image just now, and it talks about the iceberg.
Yeah.
So many courses, schools talk about this iceberg thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people see what is on the surface.
Which is very little.
Which is very beautiful, looks so glamorous, but then they never really see what's going on beneath the surface of the water.
It's a lot of pain, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of work. For example, somebody sees a book I've written and he says, oh, wow, it's beautiful, this is nice, and things like that. And I'm looking at the person and I say, do you know how many nights I had to stay awake for that book to be written? And there are times you do a presentation, take, for example, in the corporate setting, and someone is trying to steal your slides.
Wow.
So you get mad because they don't even know how much work went into that. So generally, we need to understand that a lot of work goes into everything that you see out there. Somebody stays, take for example, let's use an event. You come into a hall, everywhere is set, it's all looking beautiful. And the aroma is nice and everything, and you love it, you sit down there. But go back into the kitchen. Go and see the mess. See what happens. Look at the people who cooked the food. That's where it all happened. When you come into the hall and it's all looking glamorous, that's not where it happened. It was on the kitchen. They took the heat. They prepared everything. So something is going on the background. What you see outside is the finished work. So don't ever, for example, you see some people riding very nice cars, luxury cars, and you're happy, you love the cars. Oh, I wish I can have this car and stuff like that. Well, it's a nice thing. But remember, these guys have been working. So one of the problems we have today is that there are young people who want to drive a G-Wagon. There are young people who want to drive cars that are as expensive as 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, and they're fresh out of school. How are you going to do that? You've got to build tempo. You've got to build success over time. You need to put in the work. Now, when an opportunity comes and you snatch it, you then know what to do with it, or you know how to sustain it. Why? Because you've been working all along. You've been through pain, you've been through pressure. So it's very important for us to know that a lot of work goes on the background. We don't just pop out of nowhere.
Sometimes you hear a lot of these cliched sayings, you know, about how a diamond is actually started from a piece of coal. It was just a piece of coal under pressure. And you hear all these things. But then I think it's because we don't actually see or hear from enough people who have been through the process. We see them on the covers of magazines, on social media looking glam, but they're not talking about the story. They're not talking about what happened before. why is it that people tend to hide the more grimy, grungy aspects of their growth?
I think I agree with you on that, and it's also, it seems to be peculiar with us in Africa. Take, for example, most presidents in the United States, when they're done in office, they have a book waiting to say, this was what happened. All those nights when you see me coming out, you see all the protocols. You're looking at all the protocols. You're looking at the car. I mean, if somebody analyzes the kind of car that the U.S. president drives, you'd want it. But then this guy writes a book saying, these were the things I faced. These were the toughest moments of my life. Obama talked about how he came to the conclusion of, oh, let's strike Osama bin Laden. You know, these were toughest decisions of his life. He wrote books about that. But here in Africa, we just tell people believe, have faith.
Yeah.
We don't talk about what we did. The only person I've ever seen, well, maybe in recent times, who has written a book to say, these were the things I went through, was Folorunsho Akija.
Okay.
I saw a video of her with TD Jakes talking about what she did, how she was given an oil block that nobody wanted.
Wow.
And it was almost like an abundant oil block because they really didn't believe in it. And she kept on. And after a while, when it looked like something was going to happen, then they took her to court. The government wanted something. So it took years before she finally was able to make something out of it. So more people, yes, I agree, need to talk. Because if you're not speaking out, people think, oh, you should just know somebody and all of a sudden you have the overnight success. But it never works like that. It never. People cry a lot secretly and they don't talk about it.
The microwave mentality.
Exactly.
You just want to do 5 minutes and ding, you're a billionaire. Not so. There's a lot of growth involved. Thank you so much,
My pleasure.
Mr. Fola Daniels, FDA, as we like to call you.
My pleasure.
There's still a lot of things to talk about, and we hope you will be connecting with us on social media to ask your questions, and we'll see what we can do to give you a few answers if we can. Use our hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc. We're heading into the kitchen at this point. The chef is natural.
Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. And of course, right here I have with me Chef Natural. How are you doing this morning, Chef?
Doing fresh.
Okay, so now we have a number of things here. So tell me, what exactly are we making today?
This morning we're making prawn in mayo rolls.
Okay, prawn in mayo rolls.
Yeah, it's just like the classic one after the vegetable spring rolls. It's like the classic one because what you have inside is the prawn and mayonnaise and there's plenty of things to marinate.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I remember having one of those spring rolls and I will never forget because they're so nice as opposed to the vegetable inside because I normally don't like the vegetable ones. But this particular one that had the prawns inside, really, really nice. I love this. Now, tell me exactly what we need to make this come to life.
Yeah, basically, we need the prawns, but I need to get that defrosted because when marinating, I really need to
go in. Okay.
So to make the dough, like the pastry, I have my flour.
Okay.
When I mix this is what I'll get later. This is Expo. Yeah, I already mixed it. But you use the flour, and the only thing that goes inside the flour is salt, just a little salt.
Only salt,
only
okay,
salt.
okay.
So once I make my pastry, I'm just going to show you guys in a minute how I'm going to use all of this to marinate. I have my chili pepper.
Okay.
I have the chili pepper sauce. I have the fresh pepper. I have my powdered ginger garlic.
Okay.
I have the oyster sauce, and I have the sesame oil.
Okay.
So with all of this condiment to marinate.
So those are to marinate, right?
Marinate, yeah.
This,
this is the oyster sauce.
the oyster sauce.
Yeah, the dry pepper, the ginger garlic, the chili sauce, the seasoning cube. Yeah, that's all for now.
Okay, and the sesame oil.
Yeah, the sesame oil.
So that's to marinate the prawns.
The prawns.
Okay, now, and then for the pastry, what do we need? Flour and salt.
Yeah, flour and salt.
So where does this go in?
No, that's the seasoning cube. I think I have.
Oh, seasoning cube. Okay, so now, all of that is done. So tell us the process for making this.
The process, I think the first thing I need to do is to make the pastry, as I said.
Okay.
So once, that's like the first section. Once that one is out.
What did you mix it with?
I think the first thing is marinating. Once my prawn is defrosed right now, I'm going to show you how to marinate.
Marinate.
So you do that for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so your stuff's getting to it.
Yes.
So after then, while the prawn is on the marinating process, I'll just make my pastry.
Make your pastry.
When the pastry is ready, I'll do the rolls. That's the very, very interesting part. I'm sure you like it.
Okay, do the rolls. Now tell me, like you said, you're going to mix the flour and the salt, right?
Yeah.
So what, is it water? You use water to mix it?
No, I'm not mixing it.
Yeah,
No, I'll show you in a minute. I'm
Okay.
just going to marinate the prawns. The only thing that goes inside are the seasoning.
Okay.
Condiments.
Okay. So once the pastry is made, we're using the pan to make the pastry?
This is a pastry pan.
Okay,
This
pastry
is
pan.
used for
Non-stick.
This is a non-stick pan.
Yes.
For,
So we're just gonna fry that like pancakes?
yeah. Once it's rolled, and we can get back to fry.
Okay, once it's
those are the
rolled, then we
process,
get back.
yeah.
Okay, that's what this oil is for.
Yeah, this is for the.
Is to fry
Is to
it.
fry.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So
okay.
the process is the first one is to marinate the prawns, which I'm going to do right now.
Yeah.
After then, I'll make my pastry. I'll show you the sweet vibe of rolling the stuffs, and we'll get into.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is actually the trickiest part of making small chops. The rolling, especially with samosa.
I won't take trick. Is the style.
Okay, sorry, technique. Okay, the technique. Okay, so now we have our prawns here,
Marinated.
right? And it's marinated. So now tell me exactly what you used in there.
Yeah, we have the salt, the Maggi, the dry ginger and garlic, the chili sauce, I think the seasoning cube,
Okay.
and that's all for now. So,
All right. So in case you're just joining us, we're making
spring rolls,
rolls
mayo.
in mayo, but we have the prawn inside instead of the normal vegetables. And this actually happened or came together quite quickly.
This is the pastry.
Yeah.
I used my pastry pan.
Pan
To
to make that
to
happen.
make this one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now you need your gloves to
Yeah.
actually put that up in. To wrap, so we wrap this with this. Yeah, you didn't mention the sesame oil.
Yeah,
So we have
the sesame oil. Yeah, because it's more like a Chinese stuff, and once you're making Chinese, you always need to make sure you have those.
use sesame oil. in
Yeah,
it.
sesame oil.
It actually
oyster sauce.
binds everything.
It brings out
together.
that natural vibe, like.
In it, right?
Let me just quickly put this.
Great,
out
so that you show me how you actually are wrapping this.
Yeah. That's like one of the most interesting part, like.
Okay. Oh yeah. So how do we go about this?
Go this here. It's my pastry.
So you just use the flour in.
Yeah, the flour. Once
Just put it in the pan.
you mentioned the technique the
Yeah.
other time, so if you don't know how to do that, you might need to get someone to do it.
To
But
teach you how to
But it's
do
very
it.
technical.
All right.
Because
So now that's mayonnaise.
yeah, that's mayonnaise. And you know what mayonnaise really does? The health benefit people don't really know. It replenishes the skin. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know that.
Amazing.
So this is how you pull out the tail.
Yeah.
Make sure it's out from here.
Okay.
This is how you do it. Boom.
Okay, and wrap it like that. And wrap it like that again. Ooh, and then you just roll it. See, you do it, it seems so easy. If you tell me to do it now,
it always looks like
we'll start fights here. Okay, so the mayonnaise actually also serves as
the
gum.
seal. Yeah.
That's so...
small.
And see how smooth it is. I've tried wrapping this before. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all.
Yeah, we do training.
Do training. Okay, so I should come and train, Abby. You didn't put the mayo this time. So you put it. So I actually thought you actually would fry the prawns first
No,
or
we're
cook
frying. This thing is
it.
very
So the prawn is
fragile.
actually going to cook inside.
Yeah.
Inside
it's
the pastry.
it's not something that is always very, it's not like the beef or, so it comes out.
Yeah. Ooh, simple. Oh, I wish I had my gloves on. I could have actually try that out. So you use that.
Boom.
Okay, amazing. Actually, is so simple. Nice. Two ready already. Let's try that again. One prawn in, some mayonnaise in, and we'll do a blanket wrap
You get it.
and leave the legs out. Ooh, and another wrap, and then we roll it. Nice, while our oil is getting heated up,
Yeah.
right? Amazing. So by the time we're back here, definitely, I'm sure all of this would have been wrapped. But then again, right about now, it's the top of the hour. So we're gonna go, but come back and start all over again. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back. Now it's your numero uno breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, and hopefully the journey has been as thrilling for you as it's been for us.
Absolutely.
far.
Now we have 45 minutes still to come here on the show. We choose to waste no time as, you know, we're giving you guys all the viewing pleasure that you got up this morning to find on your TV sets, choosing us as that platform. Thank you very much, by the way.
A quick reminder, we will be landing shortly.
Oh, we're still flying?
Yeah, we're still flying.
Okay.
We've still got all the flight jokes in there. But hey, it's all about sitting tight and enjoying the ride.
Yeah, since we're doing that, we expect that at the end of this, you will be leaving with a valuable experience. So in anticipation, we say thank you very much. My name is, of course, Captain Mazino Appeal.
And I am Captain Titilayo Onyison. Remember, you can use the hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian TV.
And also remember, people, that you can watch us live from absolutely anywhere you might be in the world. All you need to do is have that app on your phone. You can download it, iOS or Android. We do not discriminate. We are not that racial.
Yeah. Show them your phone.
What? Yeah.
You don't discriminate.
We made the big jump because we've suffered enough.
Jump. You're jumping. You still jump back. What goes up must come down.
Oh, please.
Since there are still flight jokes. Anyway, well, flying through the kitchen is not a bad journey. Because Chef Natural's in the
Natural in the building.
Hey.
Winfrey, how's it going in there?
It's going great. Since we're not flying, I'll crash that plane.
Reject it.
So our rolls, our spring rolls, our prawn rolls are actually ready. Oh, no, they're not ready yet. They are going into the hot oil.
Ooh.
You can hear it already.
No time at all.
Yeah.
I'll be ready to munch on. Totally waiting for that.
Well, fantastic. We're looking forward to having a taste. By the way, if you guys want to catch us more and make sure that you have all the channels to catch us, make sure that you are on GOTV channel 27, UHF channel 49. That's where you can find Wake Up Nigeria every single morning from 7 a.m.
We implore you to go across all social media handles. That's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure you're following us across board. And hey, you'll be able to see our lineup right there.
Yes, indeed. So now it's time for us to let you know what we have inside the next or the rest for the 5 minutes here for the show. Well, we do have that weekly review we bring to you every single Monday after the Sunday edition for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So join us then.
Suki Salam is a Nigerian Afro-pop soul singer and fashion enthusiast. He is the sound of fusion across vast genres, Afrobeats, soul, Fuji, dancehall. He's known for so many great things in his sound. We're going to be hearing from him very soon.
Painting was founded in 2010, and the company's line of business includes the repair of automotive bodies, interiors, collision motors, automotive painting, and also refining. And to give us a better understanding of the business is Lawal Adebayo. He'll be joining us inside our SME segment much later. Welcome back, second hour here for Wake Up Nigeria. We did not quite finish what we were talking about inside of our...
I just wanted to mention that, like, my mind is still blown when I think about it. And I'm like Winfrey said, this thing is it's even closer home than we feel. It happens in a lot of times. And most of the time, you'll be surprised that these people have actually done even more than what you consider normal. Like, they actually even do well. There are some people that I know some siblings that, look, their brother, they don't even talk, and they are well-to-do, and they don't help each other person, the other. And then the other person says, hey, no problem.
Yeah.
But then even the ones that you even try to do, they feel they need more. That's where this kind of thing comes
That's where it
in.
starts, exactly. Because if he had blanked them, they wouldn't even have that proximity to actually even start, like, feeling. For instance, now, all those details, I mean, all to the length of kidnapping him, obviously came from someone close to him. And we have things like this happening, especially if you go to, even in universities, you get acid baths, close friend.
Goodness.
Food poisoning, close friend. People that have this direct, like, interactions with you on a daily. So it's actually...
I still maintain.
It's actually really sad, because this is the reason why many people say they do not keep friends.
Telling you.
There are a lot of people that say that there's no friend. If you're not actual brother or sister, they don't feel obligated to even interact with random people.
This one is
any
brother.
point.
That might be a bit extreme, but
Yeah.
I still maintain that you need to protect yourself.
No, of course.
Protecting yourself is actually the best way, but it doesn't mean that you have to take it to that
Especially.
extent where they become anathema to you and all of that. If you have to interact, but note that you have responsibilities as somebody who's a level higher or so. You do have responsibilities whether you like it or not. To blood, perhaps. If you choose not to, it's okay, it's fine, but know that it has repercussions.
Like, and
it
you
will
know,
come
and
back
this
at
one,
you.
Titi mentioned something. This guy, this particular friend who stayed with him had already stolen £200,000 from him, from his bank account, from his card. For someone to have your details, that means that there's
Exactly.
You really
somebody
trusted
out there.
that person
You
initially.
understand? So these guys are people that actually know him. They said he put a hex. He spoke, or we got to a witch doctor or something to put a hex. So they know personal details about him. You know what it takes to get to that point. And this is a player that if you see him, he likes to enjoy life. So you see him around with people and all of that.
So I'm of the
Careful,
opinion that Pogba is actually really a nice guy for not having this guy arrested.
Yeah, no.
For taking
I mean,
initially,
that
right?
money
apart from football,
him.
you see him, he's chilling around with Davido, Burner.
Yeah.
He's just your guy. He's a social guy. Plays around, likes people around him, having fun. That's it. That's football for you. The news on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mike Messikena. We begin in Niger State, where former President Olusegun Obasanjo says he does not have a preferred candidate for the 2023 presidential election, but a national agenda. The former president stated this when he paid a visit to former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, in Mina, Niger State. According to him, and I quote, "I don't have a special candidate. I have a national agenda. I have come to see my brother, who was a bit indisposed, and when he was abroad, I had wanted to visit him, and the day I arrived in London to visit him was the day he left." End of quote. Both leaders earlier had a closed-door meeting which lasted for about 30 minutes. Sunday's event is the latest in a series of recent meetings for the former president has had with prominent personalities and politicians days after he met with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi in London, among others. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has called on the federal government to sign the renegotiated agreement with the striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. In a statement yesterday, the senior advocate of Nigeria urged both ASU leadership and the current administration to resume negotiations in order to end the prolonged strike for the overall good of Nigerian students. While calling on both sides to resume the negotiations in the interest of the country, he said the federal government should be prevailed upon to end the prolonged industrial action. Mr. Falana, who also accused the federal government of resorting to blackmail, recalled how talks with the union ended in deadlock, a situation that dashed the hopes of many students. He also urged the federal government to commit itself to the faithful implementation of collective agreements reached with ASU, which are enforceable by virtue of the relevant provisions of the Trade Disputes Act instead of embracing the fascist option of proscribing the union. And then outside Nigeria, the Pakistani government is appealing for additional information or international assistance as floods devastate the country, leaving people searching for higher and drier lands. The death toll from a downpour has climbed to 119 killed in the last 24 hours, according to the National Disaster Management Authority. The United States, UK, UAE, and others have contributed to a disaster appeal, but more funds are needed. Interior Ministry official Salman Sufi said the country was desperate for international support. He said Pakistan has been grappling with economic issues, but now, just when it's about to overcome them, rain disaster hit. Thousands of people fled their homes in northwest after rivers in Kiba Patunkhwa burst their banks, causing powerful flash floods. We'll take a breather. There's still more to come on the show.
And it's always a delight when this segment for Monday comes through because it means it's almost at the end of the show. It also means that we have very exciting guests here with us today. Today we have Platinum Autos Painting. The CEO, actually, was founded in 2010, and the company's line of business includes repair of automotive bodies, interiors, collision automobiles, and also automotive painting and refinishing. And to give us a better understanding, here with us is, of course, none other than Mr. Lawa Adebayo. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Nice being here.
First off, I love bodywork when it comes to cars, detailing, you know, modifications and all of that. But it's not something that people really do here in Nigeria. So when I found out that we were having someone like you come over, I was very excited about it. I love, you know, cars that look very, very good and pristine and everything. But tell us about your endeavor. When you guys started, 2010, I hear. But how did you get started exactly?
Thank you. Nice to be here. It's just like a dream that started when I was in university.
Okay.
And that was our lecturer that came from Russia then. He was an automobile engineer. So they introduced us to automobile engineering and design.
So you're an engineer?
Yeah, I'm
You're a mechanical engineer?
mechanical
Okay.
engineer. I graduated from Labdeke, Akintola University of
Oh, nice. I've been there.
Yeah, nice. So engineer Oladeji came there. He taught us the subjects. Since then, I picked up the interest.
Okay.
So when I was to go for my IT, most people go for Shell, Chevron,
And all the big,
engineering boys. They like to go to that kind of place. So I went to local automobile garage
Interesting.
to learn
Okay.
the general composure of automobile, what it takes aftermarket service of automobile in Nigeria. And as of then, there's the lacuna. There's no professional in that department in Nigeria. So before you can get real people, the professional working in the automobile sector in Nigeria, there you can only get Leventis.
Yeah.
You can only get Coscaris. You don't really see indigenous engineer who are core professional in the business.
So you went into engineering, but then again, you found your way out of it. And now you're focusing more on body work and painting and all of that.
Yes.
Did you have to take another course to be able to be professional at that?
Sure, I took courses.
Okay, so
I-
without being a mechanical engineer, can I still do that course and turn out to be like you?
Sure, you can.
Okay. And where can we get these courses done? Where can we have these trainings?
We have the facility in our place.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
So you now offer training.
We offer training.
Grand. That's good. So on this segment, I always like to help people out who are out there who perhaps have the same passion, know how they can get started. Maybe younger people like you. Now, you got started in 2010, but you have a background in mechanical engineering.
Sure.
Now, to go with my question where I just asked that if I don't have this background, I can still, go into it. What kind of investment does one need to note that they're going to have to put in? Do I need property? Do I need what kind of equipment? How much would it cost me? And then how, let's start with starting off.
First of all, I would say you have to have the passion. And you must be very disciplined. You must have this perseverance attitude.
Okay.
Don't look at the capital it takes to start the business.
But it is important.
No, I'm coming. If you have the mindset of the capital you want to start the business, you won't eventually start.
Yeah.
Because it costs a fortune to start a body shop center, collision repair center.
No, that's it, yeah.
But there is a way you can get into the business.
How?
Acquire the skill first.
Okay.
By the time you acquire the skill, the capital will come. When you are disciplined with it, the capital will come. You find a way, the dream will be actualized.
Nice.
But don't put your mind, this is the capital. The capital is not easy. You can't get the capital. It's a startup.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get that capital. But put your mind, you want to learn the skill.
Okay.
You start from there, and you find a way, the result will come out later.
Let's talk about the training that you give people now. When they're done with these trainings, where do they go? How do they get started?
Yeah, there's a two part of the training in the body center. There's the panel beating,
Okay.
the collision repair, and the painting.
Okay.
You see, when you acquire these two skills, one way or the other, you say bye-bye to poverty.
There's a need for it.
There is a pure
always need
it. People always need you. So it's like you are saying bye-bye to poverty. You don't need to start with your big garage. There's a booth. People already have a booth. You can talk to the booth owner. You find a way to team up with them. You'll be painting their card in their booth. But the most important, acquire the skills. It's a top-up from down-up system.
So
you
that's
can't start from the up and say you want to come
That's
down.
very interesting. So there are, in this business, there are people who have the skills. In this same business, there are people who have the facility.
Yes.
The body workshop or the booth and all of that.
Yeah.
So everybody could, I'm specifying in, I own a booth, I have a skill, I'm a panel beater, I'm a painter. So that's how it all works. It can all work.
It works like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it works like that.
Interesting. And you offer those trainings at
Yes.
Platinum Automobiles.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, how much does a training like that cost, and how long does it take one to learn?
It is in different segments. It depends on the time. But averagely, if you want to learn collision repair, the body shop, it won't take you less than 1 year.
Okay. Okay.
To learn painting, can painting, it will take you a minimum of 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
In terms of the capital, the cost of the training, I would like them to you come privately to us, we negotiate that, we discuss about that. It depends on when you worked.
Okay.
There's no flat rate. Okay, this is 100,000, this is 200,000 for you to learn this skill.
Okay.
No, there's no flat rate.
So say I had a salon cut, like regular Camry, for instance, and I wanted to get that painted. How much does that cost? I want to know exactly how much I'm going to be making.
You know, there are quality of paint, quality of material.
True.
To have a standard material, to have a standard paint like the one you just brought for abroad, you see the car in abroad, they use
fantastic.
10 years, the paint is still retained. You get that like 300,000 naira.
So I will be paying 300,000 to have my car painted, so in that standard. However, as the individual, as the technician, as the person doing that work, now I know you're going to take out, sums of money for this, for paint, for that. How much are you left with after? What's your profit from such a job? Yes, so I'm trying to because we have to know these things so we can make this money, don't we? How much are you left?
It's a fantastic job, and I said immediately you learn the work, you have the skill, you've beat poverty bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate I have to go there. When I see some Nigeria that they don't have work, there is work in Nigeria.
There is.
For heaven's sake. This painting job, collision repair, we don't have enough technicians, we don't have enough professionals there. And we want to fill it with people to wash car. When we are preparing car, when you see somebody washing car, is there, they show it on the TV.
Yeah.
They don't collect minimum 15,000 naira to remove the paint, the paint that is on the car.
Yeah.
We remove it before we put another paint there. Yeah. We pay 15,000 naira for artisan that will remove it.
Wait, hang on a minute. So before the car is painted, the
whole paint, you get it removed. You
have to strip it.
Yeah.
So you have to
sand it away.
Wow. So that's a difference. Somebody does that separately. And
separately.
So there's a lot of money.
So you can do, if you do 10 in a month.
So I was going to ask, like in a week now, how many cars can you go through? Can you paint? Can you process?
Sometimes we do 3 every other day.
Every other day?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's looking at perhaps 6 in a week or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
More than that.
That is more than that. You heard him already. That's very, very interesting. There are jobs out there, like you said. And that's what everybody, hopes to perhaps maybe clinch one of these jobs. Yeah. But then again, you can also use your hands to do this. You can learn a craft like you have suggested to people. Yeah. Now, we spoke about the training and how much it could cost and how long it takes and all of that. Getting started after training, you say all you need to do is network with individuals with different skills or facilities, and then you're off to a good business.
Yes.
Is there any other thing we're missing in this line of business that we might need to know?
Like I tell you, there is no adequate manpower. And most of the material we use is being imported.
Yeah.
So the forest definitely is affecting the business. Yeah, those are the little things. But what is most important is that the skill in adequacy.
Okay.
And to tell our young Nigerians, there's big opportunity. I tell you, if you can wash 10 cars in a month, sometimes we wash 15 cars in a month, we make 150,000 naira. That's
a good sum of money. Now, interiors, however...
excuse me, sorry.
Yes, go ahead, please.
And in this sector, market sector, body shop and repairs, we have some Chinese that open company in Nigeria, and they are dominating the business as well. And they are even charging, they are Chinese, they are Lebanese in Nigeria. They are charging ×3 of what we collect. I told you we are doing Camry 300,000. A Chinese company will not do less than 500,000 naira. Wow. I'm telling you.
And meanwhile, you're indigenous and you perhaps maybe even know how to do it better.
Lebanese company.
Wow. That's very interesting. I wish we could have time to go into talking about the interiors, because interior is another thing that is also big business out there. Everybody's trying to reupholster their cars, and dashboards are a new thing. So there's plenty to do if you're considering going into this business. So maybe you guys should take a leave from Mr. Lawal here, and perhaps maybe he's going to be available for you guys to actually ask questions and perhaps go into training and all. Mr. Lawal, we're out of time, but we're not done with you yet.
Okay.
We have to feed you. So we have something prepared inside of our kitchen by Chef Natural. I want to bring you over to the kitchen here, if you don't mind. Come on over. Have a seat. And the beautiful ladies of Wake Up Nigeria are about to blow your mind.
Welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria Kitchen. Thank you so much. Very insightful conversation. Interesting as well. And right here, Chef Natural has actually been hard at work putting together this prawn rolls. So it's the normal spring rolls, you know, but it has vegetables inside of it, right? And we'll love you to try it out and tell us exactly what you think.
Yes, so
Is that fine?
It's good.
Hold up.
Good.
So is it shrimp?
Yeah, what I was going to
Prawn?
ask.
No, it's prawn.
Prawn.
It's
Prawn,
prawn.
Chichi's
And the
prawn.
very good thing about prawn is it increases the, it replenishes the red blood cell. A lot of people don't know that prawns. And if you don't want to go to gym, it helps the muscles.
Sign me up.
You know what?
So it's prawn and mayo.
Yes, it is.
Prawn and mayo
Have a taste,
rolls.
sir.
Used like
Yes,
Yes, of
just
course.
take one and have a taste. Same way we normally do
Small chops.
small chops, but this is small chops.
I went to Harvard.
So like,
So what do you think? He's nodding. He's trying to
that's all we need. That's all we need. He's going to take over.
All right, it's been a marvelous Monday so far. Hopefully it gets even better for you and your loved ones out there. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. It's going to be a great week, right?
It is.
Indeed.
Definitely is. Same time, same
Welcome
station.
to the week, and goodbye from the show today. Join us again tomorrow for a
Bye.
great Tuesday edition. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.